Welcome to Jamaica, the island of real bad man. Some real dog at you, some real gang bang. No run for the fair, the not garbage man.
Natty had some deadly women he rolled within his gang. Vivian and Sofiana were his top hittist. They never left his side. They were cold-blooded killers and got their hands more dirtier than a toilet flush handle. Then there were Remy and Sabrina, who were not all that brave. Rems, it was said, would always find excuses when they had a job to do. But Vivian and Sophie were first in line, front and center and ready and willing, not only to kill, but also to die for the cause if necessary, as did Vivian. One night, police Spungy and Bud Spencer and Nice Yalta police cops went out on a mission of intel to kill Natty in broad daylight. They ran into Vivian first, who let loose a barrage of shells from her favorite submachine gun and warning Natty and the crew, who were less than 200 meters away. But she was cut down by the lawman's bullet and died a martyr for the cause. Sabrina was Peter Lawrence's girlfriend, who was captured by the police and beaten next to death. And she never spilled a bean. There were other roles of other females of less significance to the gang, more for sexual pleasures when needed by men on the run who thirsted the vaginal capacity from time to time, eh? Natty managed to send one of his soldiers to convince Prince Mike that all was well and he was welcome back in the fold. Remember, Prince Mike was the one who double-crossed him when he was in jail on gun-related charges. He was supposed to send the money to Natty from the extortion of the factories, and he told Natty the only way he got any money from him was over his dead cadaver, and he had to escape and get it. He had been sending some money to Natty, after he came out in an effort to repair the egregious damage he had caused between them by betraying Natty while Natty was in prison. It was in the daytime among familiars, so that kind of eased Prince's suspicion. So he came willingly to see Natty. They talked for a while in good grace and so on. While the convoy was in Loon, Natty sent someone for a sheet of zinc. And this is where the terror gets really, really interesting. When the zinc arrived, without warning, Natty shot Prince Mike, maimed him. They then lit a fire under the zinc, and when it was raging hot, Natty ordered him to go on the zinc. He refused, and Natty unleashed a barrage of rounds at the foot of Prince Mike, and he unwillingly complied. And he was given the raging bull. He was roasted alive for his betrayal. That was how evil Natty had become. He watched as Prince Mike's corpse burned to ashes. All of Prince Mike's family had to flee Riverton ASAP, as they too become the hunted. And no one was safe from the wrath of the murderous Mumra, Natty, Nathaniel, Morgan. At one point, during Natty Morgan's reigns, he was hunted by a notorious super cop. Two. One named Spungy George and his sidekick Bud Spencer. They hunted him night and day. They had several paid informants who sometimes gathered them reliable intel on Natty and his crew. But Spungy, though, was relentless in his pursuit to kill Natty. These are facts I'm speaking of, not hearsay or third-party info doctor to garner views or public interest. These are hardcore facts. This one informant, named Lippo, was very close to Spungy. Lippo was a known crackhead who was blessed with the gift of gab. He spoke a lot. I knew him personally. One day he got spot on in for that Natty was using the big bridge that separated Seaview and Riverton as a regular commute to do his dirty deeds. Spunky and Lipper go with him on a mission to kill Natty one morning about 1 a.m. Spunky drove over Seaview accompanied by Lipper, but that's like driving alone, solo. For a cop to drive over Seaview in the daytime, alone, that's like a crip going into a blood's neighborhood, solo, 1 a.m. It's like you're begging to be killed. And then you have to cross over a rinky-dinky bridge that's old and rusty and full of blind drop spots. Not only that, but the water below is known to be crocodile infested. So if you drop through any one of those holes on the bridge, so these were the challenges. But Spunky, he wasn't bothered or fazed. Then hold on. When you're crossing over into Riverton City, where 100 more dangers awaits you. One, Natty wasn't the only wanted man on set over there at the time. There are hundreds. And if you run into any one of them, an immediate gun battle would ensue right there. So I don't know if Spunky George was super brave or super stupid. Spunky and Lippo crossed the bridge after parking about some distance away. The thugs in that area knew Lippo, so he got a pass. I doubt very much they knew who he was or who was with him, or his story would have probably been quite different. They entered into Riverton City hot on the trail of Natty. What if Lippo was leading Spunky into a trap? Spunky was treading dangerous waters. And reaching about 50 meters from Natty's hideout, they ran in unexpectedly into one of Natty's lookouts, whose sensor went off immediately. "Danger, Will Robinson! Danger!" He knew no one was supposed to be in that space at that hour. And he asked no question either. He rose up the PG-9 and squeezed like a man with just play Sunday morning ball game and a squeeze out a tough bag juice. Bop, 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 bop. Spunky and Lipper were taken off guard. And by the second shot fire, Lipper was back in Seaview Garden at the car trunk hiding. Lipper was no banker. No checks were being taken. Natty's accomplice squeezed the 9 till it clicked and the magazine empty. Spunky heard the click and rose out the bushes and squeezed our 4 and 1 connected the fleeing felon in his neck and he fell down in the bushes. Spunky saw when he fell by the way of the full moon that illuminated the Badlands. And he went over to him. Well, on TV, you would most likely see the cop render first aid. But this was not TV. And Spunky asked him, "Hey boy, we're not there." And before he answered, Spunky put 2 bullets in his head. Blum, blum! For his out hard and he's shooting after badman police. Spunky took that personally. Spunky whispered, "Lipper, Lipper, where are you good?" Checking on his friend. But Lipper was gone. Spunky was on his own. Lipper's loyalty lied only with Lipper and a ball of crack.
Welcome to Jamaica, the island of real bad man. Some real dog at you, some real gang bang. No run for the fair, the garbage.